Scorpio, listen closely, because the energy surrounding this upcoming weekend is unlike anything you've felt in months. There is a subtle trembling in your field, a shift in the undercurrent of your relationships, and a quiet message that keeps circling your intuition like a hawk that refuses to land. If you've been feeling a strange stillness, almost like the air pauses before a storm or like a whisper brushing the back of your mind, know that this is not your imagination. Something is being revealed. Something long hidden is preparing to step out of the shadows, and it carries the weight of truth, consequence, and liberation. December 7th is not just a date, it is a threshold. And as you cross into this weekend, a shocking betrayal, one that may have been forming behind closed doors in quiet conversations or in someone's unspoken intentions, begins to uncover itself. But before fear rises, breathe, because betrayal for a Scorpio is never the end of the story. It is the beginning of awakening. You may have felt the early signs already. That faint shift in someone's tone, the way their eyes avoid yours during moments that should feel natural, the sudden defensiveness when you ask a simple question. Or maybe it's the inconsistencies, the tiny cracks in their story that widen each time they speak. You notice these things, Scorpio, even when you pretend not to. Your intuition is not as subtle as you think. It is loud, sharp, and perceptive, but you often silence it to keep the peace. This time, the universe is asking you not to silence it, because the truth that wants to surface is preparing you, not punishing you. There is someone in your environment, close enough to observe you, yet distant enough to hide their intentions, whose loyalty is thinner than you believed. This betrayal may not even come from malice. Sometimes betrayal is simply the truth stepping through the cracks of someone's fear, insecurity, or jealousy. But regardless of its origin, the impact is real. And this weekend carries the energetic pressure that forces what's hidden to rise. You may overhear something. You may see a message that wasn't meant for you, or someone may reveal a truth accidentally, because the universe nudges the tongue when the time for secrets is over. And Scorpio, the time for secrets is over. December's energy is ruled by a cosmic tension point, an alignment that shakes loose anything built on illusion or pretense. It is the cleansing part of your journey, where the universe refuses to let you walk into the next chapter, carrying what was never meant to remain. That's why the betrayal that emerges now feels guided, orchestrated, even fated. It is not designed to break you. It is designed to free you. But freedom often begins with a crack. You may feel the emotional impact before the truth even arrives, a heaviness in your chest, a restless sleep, a feeling of standing at the edge of something you cannot yet name. These sensations are not coincidence. They are your inner compass vibrating in anticipation. When Scorpio is about to learn the truth, the body knows. Your dreams may intensify, your senses sharpen. You may even feel the subtle urge to pull back from someone without knowing why. That urge is not paranoia. It is preparation. The universe is not trying to shock you, it is trying to protect you. There is a karmic clearing happening in your energy field. This betrayal is part of that clearing. When something or someone is misaligned with your path, the universe exposes the fracture. Not to create pain, but to remove what cannot support your next evolution. Because Scorpio, you are entering a season where loyalty, truth, and emotional safety will become the foundation of your next growth cycle. Anything unstable must fall away now. Anything false must reveal itself, and anyone who cannot match your depth will be pulled from your orbit. But here is the twist. The betrayal may not feel dramatic at first. It may be quiet, subtle, a strange conversation, a slip, a confession, a moment that feels off, like a puzzle piece no longer fitting where it always used to. That is how it begins, with cracks. And the cracks widen until the truth walks through. Scorpio, someone has underestimated you. They believed you would not notice. They assumed their intentions could stay hidden. They thought you were too busy, too forgiving, or too focused on your own healing to sense their shift. But what they forgot is that Scorpio is ruled by the undercurrent, the unseen, the intuitive depths where truth cannot hide. When the revelation comes this weekend, whether through words, energy, or circumstance, you may feel an immediate wave of emotion, shock, hurt, disappointment, maybe even a cold clarity that feels like your soul suddenly stepping forward to take the lead. Whatever you feel, know this: your reaction is not weakness, it is recognition. Your spirit has been waiting for this moment because what comes next is transformation. The betrayal does not define you. It frees you. This weekend marks the unraveling of illusions that have quietly weighed on your heart. You've tolerated someone's inconsistency for too long. You've explained away their behavior. You've forgiven without receiving accountability. You've ignored the whispers of your intuition because you wanted to believe the best in them. That ends now. And here's the deeper truth. This revelation does not harm your destiny, it protects it. Sometimes the universe allows a betrayal to surface because your blessing is getting closer, and anyone not meant to stand beside you during that blessing is removed with precision. So as December 7 approaches, be aware but not afraid. Be open but not naive. Be observant but not consumed. Let your intuition lead you gently through the shadows. You will see what you need to see. You will hear what you need to hear. And when the moment arrives, when the truth finally steps into the light, your heart will understand why it had to unfold this way. Because betrayal is not the end of your story, Scorpio. It is the beginning of your becoming. When the truth finally rises, Scorpio, it may arrive in a moment so ordinary that it catches you off guard. Perhaps a message left open on someone's screen. Perhaps a tone in their voice that trembles with something unspoken. Perhaps a glance between two people that wasn't meant to be seen. Betrayal is rarely theatrical. It reveals itself in the tiny fractures of daily life, in the pauses between words, in the sudden shift of someone who can no longer maintain the weight of their own deception. You'll notice it instantly, like a door opening in a silent house, and when it comes, the atmosphere around you will change. You may feel time slow down, your senses sharpening, as if your spirit is stepping outside your body to observe. You might even feel the strange clarity that arrives when the heart recognizes something the mind was not yet ready to accept. It doesn't matter whether this betrayal is emotional, social, or energetic. What matters is the truth you feel rising in your chest. This is the moment I knew was coming. You are not blindsided, Scorpio. Not really. You saw this before it arrived. The universe simply waited for you to be strong enough to face it. The emotional wave that follows may be intense. Scorpios feel deeply, even when they pretend otherwise. You might feel the sting of disappointment, not because someone betrayed you, but because they believed you wouldn't sense it. You might feel anger, not the explosive kind, but the cold, steady anger that comes from being underestimated. Or you might feel sadness, a soft ache that blooms when you realize you gave your loyalty to someone who treated it carelessly. Let the emotion come. Let it move through you. Let it teach you. Because within the sting is wisdom, within the shock is liberation, and within the wound is a doorway. This betrayal surfaces not to break you, but to redirect you. It clears the fog around your relationships. It reveals who has been sincere and who has been performing loyalty. It shines a light on the energy that has been weighing you down without your awareness. And most importantly, it returns you to yourself. Scorpio, you have spent far too long shrinking to keep the peace, dimming your intuition for the sake of harmony, and giving the benefit of the doubt to those who did not deserve a fraction of your trust. Now, the universe is reclaiming your boundaries. As you navigate this revelation, the first step is stillness. Scorpio's power is not in reaction, it is in observation. Before you speak, breathe. Before you confront, assess. Before you cut someone off, understand the fullness of what has unfolded. Betrayal requires evidence, not emotional chaos. And you, Scorpio, are the master of seeing the truth beneath the surface. Let the truth settle like dust in sunlight. Let the pieces arrange themselves. Let the universe show you what stands once the illusions fall. You may discover that the betrayal is smaller than you feared, but still meaningful. Or it may be larger than you expected, shaking the foundation of a connection you once held dear. But no matter the scale, the message is the same. Your spirit has outgrown this energy. You are being moved into a new cycle where alignment is non-negotiable. Only those who respect your depth, honor your vulnerability, and speak truth even when it trembles will be allowed to walk beside you. There are people in your future, people who will treat your heart with a reverence that others failed to show. There are relationships waiting for you that are rooted in mutual trust, not quiet exploitation. There are connections rising that will feel like home, not like a battlefield where you must constantly guard your soul. This betrayal is the key that unlocks that shift. And strangely, as you process what has happened, you may feel something unexpected. Peace. Not immediately, but gradually, softly, like a warm light entering a cold room. Because deep down, you knew something wasn't right. Deep down, you felt the energy draining you. Deep down, your intuition whispered warnings you weren't ready to hear. Now the universe removes the choice. You cannot ignore this truth anymore. From this point forward, Scorpio, your path becomes clearer. Your boundaries sharpen, your intuition strengthens, and your emotional resilience, already unmatched, becomes unshakable. This weekend does not take anything from you. It clarifies what was never truly yours. You will rise from this not wounded, but awakened. As the days unfold after this revelation, you will find yourself reclaiming parts of your identity you had buried. A version of you that was always alert, always intuitive, always sovereign, returns with new power. Your ability to sense dishonesty will sharpen, your capacity for discernment will amplify, and your standards for connection will elevate to a level only your healed self can maintain. You will no longer tolerate half-truths. You will no longer entertain false loyalty. You will no longer give unconditional access to those who have not earned it. This is the rebirth that follows betrayal. And after the dust settles, something else begins to form. Your blessings. Because betrayal always comes before breakthrough. It is the universe removing what cannot walk with you into your abundance. You may not see it immediately, but you will feel the shift. Clarity, new opportunities, renewed emotional strength, and a deeper connection to the divine intelligence guiding your steps. What is meant for you, Scorpio, is not fragile. It does not deceive you. It does not hide behind shadows. It stands in truth, openly and consistently. The universe is rearranging your relationships to protect your destiny. And now, as we approach the end of this message, place your hand over your heart for a moment. Feel the pulse of your intuition. Feel the quiet strength rising. Feel the truth settling into your spirit. You are not alone in this unveiling. You are guided. You are protected. You are being ushered into alignment with what and who is meant for your highest path. If you feel a shift inside you as you listen, anchor that feeling by affirming gently, I see the truth. I honor the truth. I rise through the truth. And as a soft whisper of protection, let this final reminder melt into your heart like a quiet disclaimer of wisdom. This narrative is a mirror, a reflection of one possible timeline written for the soul that is ready to hear it. If it resonates, let it guide your intuition. If it does not, let it pass like a cloud dissolving in sunlight. Every Scorpio carries a different path, and only your inner knowing can reveal which doorway belongs to you. This message is not a prediction carved in stone, but an invitation to explore your own insight, your own boundaries, your own power. Let it empower you, not frighten you. Let it illuminate, not dictate. You are the final author of your destiny. Scorpio, you are not being broken this weekend. You are being delivered. And what rises after this truth, it will be stronger, clearer, and more powerful than anything that has ever stood in your way.